Hi, welcome to this lecture about how to teach children to handle emotions. This is part 2 out of 2, and the previous lecture on this subject is still available here on our YouTube channel. Please like and follow us to get updates on upcoming events. And if you have any questions during the lecture, you can write them in the chat and we will try to answer them after the presentation. And with that said, I give the floor to you, Marina. Welcome back.
Thank you that you spend your time and join us in this lovely summer evening. And we will talk about emotions. It's a second part. It's very interesting. I think it's very interesting and important subject. And yes, as Magnus said, we had first lecture, we talked about how to deal with children's emotion, and we talked more about adults' emotion. So I want you, before to start to deal something with kids' emotions, to be ready to deal with your emotions, to understand your emotions. I think it's quite a good idea, and I believe you will understand why. And today we will talk about how to teach child to understand, accept, and control their emotions. We'll try to understand how to do this. And I propose to focus on these 5 questions. I'll try to find answer. At least we will ask these questions to ourselves and maybe we'll get an answer. So first of all, we will talk about how to teach. So there is quite a few methods to teach something, and we will try to understand what kind of method is good for if you're talking about emotions. After we will talk about attitude. If you remember in first lecture, we talked about attitude was like number 5 method of manage our emotion, adult emotion. It's quite interesting method that kids taught me when I studied psychology at school for 1 year for kids, 5th class, 10 years old kids. It was very interesting. We talked about emotions a lot. And they said to me, look, exists another method of managing emotions, change attitude. So we'll talk about attitude because attitude is a very important component if you're talking about kids' emotions. And after I propose that we will focus on very simple but very important question: when is child able to control emotions? When when we can wait from this pattern of behavior from the child, to be disappointed if we will not have it before time. And also we'll talk about what to accept, what you want to accept. If you remember in first lecture, I asked you set a goal for yourself, what kind of question you want to, what you're looking for, what kind of answer you want to find. So this is also, we'll talk about what you want to your child to accept. And I want to show you one game, name of this game, Who is a Master of Emotions? And this game, you can play, if you like it, you'll play with your kids this game about a few years. It can help you and your kids to manage to their emotions and your emotions. And I cannot say it's a game, it's more or less like frame. Inside this frame, you can set lots of games. And according to my experience, it's working good. And for kids and for yourself, for you as a parent, because I think it's a lot of insight you can get through this game. So this is 5 questions I propose to look closer, and let's start with first question. So how to teach? It's a very good question. And I think we all know that there exist a few methods to teach something, and well-known method, it's like circus training. You know, it's a very good method if you want to have results, understandable results, and most important, it's understandable method. It's like carrot and stick. Yes, you have you support some behavior or something what you want to grow, and you try to cut something what you don't want to grow. And it's very good method if you know what you want, result, right answer. For example, this is, of course, it's very good method if you study how to drive car, for example, but then no creativity and no exist correct answer. You cannot be creative on the road. Exist rules and you must obey these rules and you must simply know them. Or for example, if you want to learn some language, exist a few ways to express yourself on different language, but still you must use correct words for this, you must know them. So exist correct answer, for example. For myself, it's very important now. I'm trying to learn Swedish and you must know words and vocabulary must be good to express yourself. But exists a situation that you don't know correct answer. And if you don't know correct answer, this method can be not work, meaning, or it will work funny way. For example, if you're talking about emotions, if you really know what kind of emotions you want your child to accept and understand, and you know how to deal with these emotions, maybe you can use this method and you will have results. For example, you know this emotion's not good, you know, you believe in it, this emotion's good, 100% you believe in it, you know the result, correct answer, and you will teach your child don't show, for example, bad emotions and show good emotions. You will have results and you will deal with results later on. But I think if we're talking about emotions, we can think about another method of teaching. Another method we can delegate, yes, delegate to someone who really know how to do this. It's also a very good method of teaching. Again, if you're talking about some knowledge, skills, but if you're talking about emotions, and especially we're talking about emotions of child 2.5 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, exists some kind of, how should I say, connection like role model. And role model usually it's you, it's parents, yes. So it's anyway, they will scan your emotions and they will get your habits. And be honest, I don't know who is doing this, who we can delegate our child to. They will teach them to handle emotions. Of course, we're talking about kindergarten, we're talking about some preschools and teachers doing this, but I think it's very interesting to be in touch with your child and their emotions. So what we have not really good news that to teach emotions, it's by example, by yourself. So, and what we have, we're talking about kids, we're talking about childhood. I think, you know, if you're a parent, that they have special, I don't know, what's this ability? They can scan us. They scan our emotions, our attitude, and our words sometimes not working, but working what's inside. Yes, so that's why we spent first lecture try to understand our adults' emotions and method how we can deal with our adults' emotions. So I think that this is a good idea before we'll start to do something with kids' emotions, try to organize our adults' emotions and put them in order. It's good to say, but it's not working like this. So, and I now do this lecture as a scientist, as a some person who's tried to study psychology, tried to study emotions quite a few years, do lots of research about this, and also read lots of research, not all of them, of course. And I want to be honest with you that psychology as a scientific field, we have a border, yes? So we know more than we can understand, and we know more than we can explain. So psychology quite, how should I say, not enough method to understand. We can collect a lot of information and about emotions, a lot of data, for example, about on the border of physiology, biology, neuropsychology. We have lots of data how to brain working, but not all of them we can explain and understand how to deal with them. So this is, I want to be honest with you. And also what we know, what we understand already, that emotions do not obey the laws of logic. But it doesn't mean we must give up. So we can try to understand emotions by using thinking, through the thinking. And that's why this picture, we used this previous lecture. It's like we talk about what we have arsenal in psychology. We have personality, we have conscience, we have subconscious, and we decide that subconscious, it's place where our emotions live. And it's like ocean. And we will, if you want to explore the ocean, so better to be fully equipped to use good scuba suit. It's like critical thinking, and use oxygen in your balloon on your back, and you must refill this oxygen. It's like knowledge, yes? So we'll try to do this today also. So what I try to today offer you, I try to offer you about focus about attitude. Attitude, it's how you feel yourself inside. As I said, kids scanning us. I don't know. I dealing with kids years, and they still don't know how they do this, but they doing this. They scan our emotions, what inside, what we feel. We can say everything. We can control ourselves, but if we are not happy inside, if something disturbs us, they feel this and they react somehow. And before to deal with kids' emotions, I propose you to build your attitude that you will feel yourself calm, and I want to say happy, at least calm, you know, and feel yourself confident when you deal with your emotions, to understand yourself, first of all. And what can help you? A lot of methods exist, but I can offer you, I think it's quite easy method. We can call this W8. It's like 8 questions that you ask yourself. If we'll try now to found answer for a few of these questions, but if you will watch this lecture record and video later on, I propose you to put on pause, take a piece of paper, pen, a pencil, and write down the answer. Write down, be honest with yourself. So you will write down, not for me, I will write down this for yourself. And also, if you want to, of course, you can share with me. And I, by the way, I want to say thank you very much for these people who saw first lecture and who give me feedback and wrote for me email. You can feel free and write for me. I will be absolutely happy if you will give me feedback about what you think, how it's working for you. But most important, you're doing this for yourself, not for assessment, not for points, for yourself. Points, you know, your child will give you points with smile or tears, whenever. So what kind of 8 questions I offer you to answer to yourself? What I can rely on? What do I know? What do I not know? What do I want to know? What do I believe in? What do I do systematically? It's actually a very important question, because what I know and what I do systematically, it can be a very big gap between them, because I know this and this I know. Okay, I know, but what I do for this, it's very important. What I do want, so it means my wish, what I want. And what will I do for this? So it means for the position number 7, and generally speaking for this situation. So this looks like a circle, but this circle can be wider if you will answer these questions time after time. Okay, let's try to do this. We'll try to answer a few of them. And also question why we need to do this. Need. I think it's not need, it's good to have this attitude and to ask this question. What will have out of this? I think this picture can give you a clue why we need this. I think we need this for set a border. Border, it's a very important concept. I suppose you think about, what about this? We have a body and we have border of body. Yes, our skin. And we try to take care about our skin. If we scratch our skin, we feel pain and we are not happy. And we can control our emotions. Child will not control. So we can hold yourself, but if child will scratch, it will be explosion of emotions. And the same situation about personality. So very important to understand border of your personality, and very important to understand border of personality. Where is my personality finish and where is start personality of child? It also exists. So psychologists dealing with this and try to explore this. And I cannot say, as I said a few slides before, that we know more than we can explain and understand, but you don't have to wait until it will be proof of some research about answer these questions. I think very important to be explorer for yourself and ask this question and try to understand where is your border of your personality, what you can tolerate, what border of your possibilities, and the same where is the border of your patience, and the same about your child. Why it's very important? You know, it's very important, first of all, for child development, because for child development to understand border, it's very important. It's again what I said, it's for skin. Yes, for us, for body, skin, it's very important concept. We reacting very active if something happen, even small scratch. And think about this, that even border of body, skin, it's not something stable. It's moving all the time and it's growing. So child where skin, yeah, when you born child and it's small amount of skin, like square meters, if you can measure this, and skin of body now. The same with personality. We are not thinking this way, but I try to think like this, because border, it's something what I can do and something I cannot do. And I cannot do this now, but I can do this later. And this is very important attitude. If we will talk like this with child, they will really appreciate this. And generally speaking, I want you to talk with your child this way, because it will start dialogue, and very important dialogue about their personality and their emotional sphere. Because I'm not sure about Sweden, but in culture of other countries, I know that it's not sphere what we're talking about, emotions, yes? But later on, we all the time we deal with emotions. So I propose you to start dialogue with your child about emotions and about the body, what we can do and we cannot do. And you will be surprised, really, because sometimes we think about kids, that child, it's someone wants to all the time play, mobile phone, I don't know, piece of chocolate, and just run around. But it's not really true. If we start to talk about emotions, this child, even 3 years old, 4 years old, you will be surprised how they are clever enough and how they are they're philosophers. So try to talk to your child about border. So how to set borders? We will try to start with what I can rely on. I will show you just from my example, yes, what I can rely on. In my case, yes, you will do for yourself. And maybe you can accept something from my case and also use for yourself. So what I can rely on, if I deal with a child, kids' emotions, I rely on what I know. I know that exists theory of Alexander Luria, that this theory about higher psychological functions carried out by 3 blocks of brain. What it means, functions. I think you know that functions, when we're talking about mobile phone, yes, we want as more functions is better. Functions is good. We want functions, but big memory. We want quick speed, good functions. And if you're talking about device, we can buy a new one device or just upload new function. With child, it's not working like this. With child, very important also that functions will grow, but they not grow the same time. So exists 3 part of brain that's responsible for different functions. And Luria called this first block, it's energy block, it's brain stem, it's what's inside our brain. It's responsible for our wishes, what you want. Second part, second block, it's responsible for reception, processing, and storage of sensory emotions and posterior cortex. And we have block number 3, it's programming, regulation, and control. And these blocks of brain growing not the same time. So first growing, first block of brain, later, although child, of course, arrive with all these parts, but growing, they are not at the same time. And first block responsible for what I want, second block responsible for interesting and what interesting for me, and only block number 3, block of brain, responsible for what I can do. So this very important information that I know this can help me. Also important information about this function. What we're talking about function? Function, first of all, is speech, perception, imagination, memory, and thinking. And each of these functions, when they grow, they make your child happy. So it's positive emotion. When child, for example, we have information that babies got in their brain, have lots of neural connections during first year of life, but they're not allowed, they cannot talk about this. We cannot explain what they know, what's inside their brain. It's very difficult to do research of babies. But after 1 year, these connections disappeared. We don't understand. We know this, but we don't understand why. And when child able to talk to us after first year, these connections already not appeared. But when child have this function, talk to us, he is happy, absolutely happy. And the same with imagination, the same with memory. When baby, when a child know more information and can share with us this information, he is also happy. If he understands something, he is also happy. So I will try to say that growing functions connected with positive emotions. Also, what I can rely on, what I talked just briefly, what I talked about this on first lecture, that I know theory of personality of Dessavitsky Sreda, about 3 parts of personality. One personality, number 1 part, again, answer for what I want, and all emotions connected with what I want. If I got this, I am happy, positive emotion. If I don't have this, negative emotion. Interest, it's also number 2, part number 2. If I'm curiosity, my curiosity, I can use my curiosity, I can explore this world, I'm very happy. If I will stop ability to child to be curious, child will show you negative emotions. And part number 3, social part, connected with other people. So if child able to understand that if you do something, it's painful for other person, it's negative emotion. One side it's negative, on another side it's very good that child understand that if he do something, it affect other people, he can control themselves. So it's also this situation of connection with other people, working on development of personality. And what I don't know a lot of things about this theory. I know that exists, can be 7 type of personality, but I still don't understand mechanism how to keep this structure of personality whole, not fall parts. Like you can see, we talk about this first lecture, that easiest way to cancel 1, 2, even 3 part of this personality and make structure of personality not so difficult. We don't know a lot of things. And also I don't know, I don't know about, how should I say, future of the child. I don't know what kind of personality child will grow. Even I'm a psychologist, I deal with kids a lot of time, but I cannot be 100% sure about future. But I can believe that for me, very important that as a result, child will grow up is a personality. So I can see this, I use in my imagination and I use in my beliefs. I believe that this is structure is good. I believe that cancel one of two parts of your personality, cancel your emotions. It's make your life not so rich, not so in good meaning rich. It means like colorful and full life. If you have three parts of this personality and connected with all different emotions, and you can manage to grow them, it's good for development personality. But I don't know what kind of personality child will choose. And also what I don't know what childhood means to you. Maybe it's like layered cake, where all the parts it's connected with years. Yes, at first years, and after when you toddler, when you small child, when you in primary school, when you're a teenager, it's like different childhood. Yes, it's a different test of childhood. I think it's also. I don't know, for example, what does childhood structure means to you? Because when I say about childhood structure, I show you this picture, but I don't know what kind of ideas you have when you hear this. So you can let me know about what you know about childhood. And of course, I don't know what kind of emotions wake up in your mind when you hear the word childhood. I think it's also very important to know and very interesting. So you can also write this to me. It will be very interesting. What I also know and what I believe that it's possible to grow without trauma. And I believe and I know that exists flow of childhood. Flow of childhood when child can pass every stage of childhood on time and be with leading activity and finish every stage that way that he will collect something new on development. For example, after 2 months, we have first smile. After first year, what's new we have first steps and first speech. If everything okay, we have this. And we will not suspect that a child 2 months will start walking or child 3 months old will start to talk to us. We are not waiting for this. Yes, everything exists time for everything, and for everything exists place, correct place and correct time. After we wait another few years, and the result we have our child say about 2.5 years, 3 years old, he said, yes, I'm myself. I will do this myself. And he refused to accept our help and show his character, her character. And if before we can very easy to help child dress up or feed or offer kind of dress or toys, after 3 years old, possible very often that child will say, no, now I will do myself. I will choose dress, I will dress up myself, I will put shoelaces if you have shoelaces on shoes, everything myself. And this is quite difficult, and it's lots of emotions, immediately lots of emotions. It's for parents, it's like crisis. Psychologists call this crisis, all these steps we call crisis. And also we, I know that exists another step and another stage when child start to control their emotions. It's about 6 years old. And after development, not stopping, after that, we can organize environment that way that child can start to use reflection, so critical thinking about, we can organize educational system environment this way that about 10, 11 years old child, teenager can use critical thinking. It's also possible. So this is what I know and I believe on it. I believe why? Because I make research, I have proof of this, and other researchers done research in this field, in this area. We compare our data on conference. So I know this, I have proof, and I believe that it's possible. It's possible to organize childhood this way, that it will be like like ocean possibilities of the creative realization of the potential of the child personality. When we organize environment this way, the child can do this yourself and manage emotions also. And now, when I'm dealing with parents nowadays, especially 20, even 30 years, it was dramatically changed, that we have, we have some kind of idea that deal with kids' emotions. It's very, especially if it's negative emotions. Yes, it's very difficult problem. And all parents, generally speaking, want for their child what they want. They want good, something good. They want they will safe. They want that kids will be under control. They will be, and don't disturb. Yeah, don't disturb. I will do myself, my stuff, and I can see everything okay with my child. I control, and he developed or she developed, so he's doing something good. And what we have as an answer, we have market answer us is online gaming and all kind of gadgets. And now think about this. What you know about this situation? If it's how should I say, how devices influence on child development, and what you want to know about this. Why I'm asking these questions? Because I know that nowadays parents prefer use too much digitals and put attention of the child instead of explore their emotional field, they explore virtual reality. So this is what I know in my case. Maybe in your case it's not like this, but I know as a psychologist that I have parents and grandparents, they ask me for help with their teenagers, 10, 13 years old. And what I hear from them complaints. I hear from them complaints, not interesting. He's not interested. A lot of negative emotion if we try to disconnect from computer. He's not interested with nothing, absolutely nothing. Not take care about yourself, sitting in front of the gadget, not even eating, room absolutely mess. And what I hear from them, they said about, we don't hear from him 10 years. So we give him tablet when he was 3 years old and he didn't disturb us. And so this is reality that I deal with time after time. And I know that this is quite common now. Maybe it's not your case, but I want you think about this, that it's now it's possible, instead of explore your own emotions and understand yourself as a personality and give child tools to understand yourself, especially in sensitive period, in early age. Parents usually, not usually, but quite a lot of times prefer to give child some kind of games. And it can be problems with this. So I want you just know about this. And another step, what we're doing, we can think about beliefs. So for example, if you believe that computer technology, digital technology, it's very good for child, it's your choice. If you believe that better not deal with emotions, it's also your choice. But I want to share with you what I believe. I believe that child comes in this world without fears. So fears, like negative emotion, appeared in child's life later on, and we are helping this. Also, I believe, and I have proof of this, that child comes in this world with very strong passion to develop, to explore situation. And one of the base of this passion, it's curiosity. Curiosity, it's something that child appeared in this world. And you know this with, if you have your small child, you know how strong child wants to explore this world. So curiosity, it's also connected with positive emotion. And also I believe on that child comes in this world with the marking of personality. So it's like a seed. Seed inside, they have potential for all personality. And also I know and I believe that child comes in this world and we get a big credit of trust. So this, the kids trust us. So what we will offer them, we will offer them tablet, they will accept tablet. We will offer something else, they will accept. So I think it's good to think about what we can offer our child. And generally speaking, I believe in the child. I believe the child can manage any situation. So it's very strong attitude inside me that probably child can scan. That I believe that any task that child will get on the way, his way, her way, they can manage to do. They can solve any task. They have ability to this. Yes, they maybe need some support. They need maybe some help. Maybe they need to learn something. And I'm here to help a little bit, but not do instead of child. Also with emotions. I'm ready to explore emotions with kids, but manage the emotions I will not do. And even this is for me not valuable, for me very valuable that child will do this on self. I believe that possible development of child personality without trauma, and as I said, I believe in flow of childhood without trauma. And what do you believe in? Nowadays, we live in such a strange world, especially with internet, that we have lots of ideas and lots of fears around us. And also what I know that parents, I'm not talking not beliefs like religious beliefs, of course not. I'm talking about what you believe connected with childhood. So what you believe good for your child, what you believe not good for your child. And I offer you to think about hygiene of your beliefs. So think about what you believe, what kind of ideas you give your power and your time. Okay, so what these few slides, I think I will pass because we talked about this on our first lecture. Yes, what can rely? We can rely in psychology. If you believe in psychology, for example, we can rely on 3 ideas: activity, conscience, and personality. It's like top of 3 mountains that we have different view. Also, we can, for example, if our goal is whole personality, we know that personality not exists without activity, and also we know that every activity got a structure. We talked about this in first lecture. And also we know that each age has its own leading activity. So if personality not appeared without activity, very important to know that each age got their leading activity. There can be several activities at the same time, and most important, that every activity, core of every activity is motivation, a motivation connected with emotions, and they are different. Now next question, it's what to accept. So think about what you want your child to accept. Emotions, personality, maybe accept behavior of other people, maybe accept the whole world, maybe accept yourself, maybe accept you. It's very strange maybe, but very important questions. And you can talk about this with your child also. And now, very important question, when is a child able to control emotions? We come back to this slide, what we start with, I believe, I know. So if we're talking about, we can rely on physiology, on brain. We can rely on scientific research. We know that a third part of brain, this is anterior cortex connected with control, ability to control. And this part of cortex grow up about 6 years old. So what I try to say? I try to say that it's a long journey. And if your child, for example, 3 or 5 years old, you're talking about emotions and you explain her or she or him, you understand? Yes, I understand. You will not do this. No, I will not do this. Okay, and child come back and do the same, and again explode emotions, and you start thinking, I talked to him, I explained, and he gave me feedback. He said, yes, I will not do this, and he doing this again. So sometimes parents fall on this trap. They thought that if they explain child 3, 4, 5 years old something, it means, and child say, yes, I understand, I will not do this. It means he will able to do this. It's simple, impossible in this period. Before 6 years old, anterior cortex not growing up enough, and child cannot control emotions, simply cannot. It's like you will ask a child of, I don't know, 3, 4 years old to reach ceiling. It's simply impossible in this age. Later on, he will do this, she will do this, but not now. So why I'm talking about this? I'm talking about this just make your attitude to child emotions that explosion of child emotions, it's like thunder, or it's like rain. You will not be disappointed if rain will start. I believe not. You're just looking for a cast, you know that it will be rain, and you prepare yourself. You open umbrella, you put coat, you put Wellington, and you go where you need. But sometimes it's very easy to say, but sometimes in reality, when you go inside a situation with children, kids' emotion, we react differently. We react very emotionally. And another moment, what can help us, it's another also research that we know that childhood got a few stages, and on this periodization, when a child able to control the emotions, it's also about 6 years old. But also we can have a look what leading activity we can organize for child to be this done. So when child can be able to control emotions, so we can say it's a game. But when we're talking about game, again, nowadays, if we're talking about a game, immediately it's leading to online or digital virtual reality. And I'm talking about game, and I want to talk about this game now. Who is a master of emotions? I'm talking about a live game, and game, if we're talking about this game, must be three parts. It must be storyline, rules, and roles. And this storyline, rules, and roles, and it's more or less about creativity. So you can use a lot of creativity to do this, but I can show you how it's possible to do. Before we'll talk about this game, I also want you to pay attention about 3 moments or 3 stages of emotional expression. So exist situation when it's splash of kids' emotion. Exist another part of day, probably when you do daily routines, and these daily routines also connected with different emotions. And exist, I propose you to schedule your day with child this way that you will have time for research of emotion. So to look of situation where emotions splash from this side, when everybody calm, everybody okay, let's sit and talk about this. And I offer you to divide all your activity on these 3 parts. So splash of emotions, will chat show you a lot of emotions, and probably it's negative, maybe. Daily routine, and time for explode emotions. And I think that very important, just just imagine yourself that it's like different attitude you have on these three parts of your day. When it's splash of emotions, very important to feel inside yourself acceptance. So you feel this is attitude. And that's why I spend lots of time today talking about attitude and how to deal with attitude, because this is like a job, you know. It's very important to do this attitude for this emotion. This attitude they can scan, and it will help you in moment when these emotions will splash. When you're doing daily routines, I think you'll need a lot of patience. It's also attitude. And when you will do research, emotional research of emotions with your child, I think it's can be, I believe it can be curious for you also, but it's really very interesting. So let's make closer to all these three parts. If you're talking about splash of emotions, generally speaking, exists quite a lot of recommendation that psychologists give to parents how to do. Sometimes they say you come to closer, hug, call the name of child. It's you know, depends of child. Some child likes to be hugged, or sometimes just be next to, sit next to child. It's also important. So I cannot say directly to your child what kind of behavior better to use. I think you know better because you've been already in this situation. But I want you to think about that this in moment when you will deal with splash of child emotions, small child emotions, very important to show child, show that, give this message. I'm here, I understand you, I support you, I don't blame you. It's very important. I don't blame you for these emotions you now splash, and I accept you. Which way you will show this? It's your creativity. So you can show this with just silence. You will see it. You will show this with your eyes. You will show, as I said, you know better. But it's very important that this, when a child in moment of splash emotions, when crying, when angry, when in very show some splash of emotions, you show that you accept this. When you're talking about daily routine, I think very important to just, it's really routine. It can be bored, but it's very important to schedule child day such a way that it will be place for these 5 positions. So it's very important that a lot of motion, especially if we're talking about small kids, yes, it's very important to child have oxygen, and it's can be, of course, place when they play outside. It's also connected with all kind of sport. Yes, it's very important to hardening it. So it's connected with health and to immune system, and also very important that you have stretching body in the bed, in just some games. It's very important. So it's like contact, and it's very important this age that kids, they are more kinesthetic. So they explore this world with their body, and they still explore their body, the ability of body. Yes, they can play on one leg, another leg, and lots of games connected with control the motions you can use. So this is very good, and it's very good if it will be routine. I understand it's not very easy to do this with your child every day, but try to put as much as possible time for this kind of activities during the day. Why it's it's daily routine, of course. Daily routine connected with rhythm, connected with very boring things. It's go to sleep on time and wake up on time. You will be surprised, but when I'm talking to parents and start to ask them about emotions, when they come to complain about they cannot deal with kids' emotions, the splash of kids' emotions, they say, it's so every day, twice per day, he's doing this. And when we try to investigate schedule of the day, you will be surprised, but about more than 50% cases connected with some problem with daily routines. So child not go to sleep on time, wake up later, or go to sleep later. When child not sleep enough, this 10 hours, it can affect behavior. It can cause negative emotions also. It's also connected with a type of food. Very simple things that not connected with psychology at all, meaning it's connected when it's splash of emotion. Do you understand what I try to say? So it's very simple information, but when practice shows me that 50% cases where child age 2.5, 6 explode emotions every day, we go through schedule and we see that schedule rhythm, not the same rhythm. It's very important. And block number 3, when we spend time explore emotions with your child, I propose you to think about these ideas. I don't know, you will accept this or not, but I will be happy if you will give me feedback later. So what I try to say, that I propose you think about that not exist bad emotions. It's a trap if you're talking about emotions. That bad, and this is good. I propose you think about emotions. It's like energy. It's like petrol with fuel. Yes, we won't start the car. We need fuel. And this is our emotions. Because even anger, we can do lots of things because we're angry. Sometimes good things, sometimes not, but sometimes anger also good. Depends on situation. Fears. Sometimes fears very good. If we had no fears, I'm start one slide. If you remember, I said I believe the child come in this world without fears. But now I say that fears, it can be also good. For example, but you know the problem is that it can be not fears. It can be just instinct, but we call this fears. So, but without fears, maybe we can jump through the window. We can put our hands inside fire. So sometimes fears can save our life. So it's also, you know, depends of situation and depends of time. So for every emotion exists time and place. Time and place. So very important to talk to your child in this way. So let's explore emotions. Let's explore what we've been angry, what you're nervous about this morning. For example, you have case. I'm sure you will have case in the morning, yesterday, before yesterday. Let's think. Let's explore this case and let's think why you've been angry, why you've been frightened, what's happened. Let's talk about emotions. Let's decide that not exist bad and good emotions. All emotions are good because most important to found for them correct place and found them correct time. We are not judge. It's very important. Explain your child that you will not judge, you will not do assessment. Just explore. Explore, it means you are using curiosity. So you're like a researcher. You can take, I don't know, magnificent glass or microscope and let's look closer on our emotions. And let's do a game. Game is main idea to every emotions, every case, what happened with you and your child. Sit in the evening or when you will find place and correct time for this, find right time and right place for each emotion. So I propose to use this emotion, first of all, give them a name. It can be, don't have to name a special name. For example, my anger, it's name Tom or Sandra or whatever. No, just name this emotion. This, I've been angry. This is when I do this, I've been angry. I feel furious. I feel offended. So name the emotion. So this is a role. Emotions like character. And you can draw these emotions. You can make it appear in the life. You can draw, you can make the emotions from the clay and they will appear in reality. And you can talk to this emotion and try to ask questions where these emotions can be good, useful, why it's appeared in this situation, and where it can be good and what time it will be good. So this exploring on this, how should I say, on these questions, it can be a very interesting game with kids, and this can be, how should I say, lots of creativity you will need and lots of imagination. So not exist over here correct answers. Most important, it's principle that not exist bad emotions, exist the correct time and correct place. You can share with your child your situation in your life when you done something in your life when you weren't frightened. For example, it was good. I'm sure you will find this. And think about this, and you will also surprise that sometimes when you're frightened, you also do lots of things. So life not, only positive or negative. Life is quite colorful. And if you will start to talk with your child and share with your child this information, I think it's very, very, very will be good for you and for child relationship for long, long years. And most important question, I offer you to show your child that ask question, who is a master of emotions? Who is owner? I try to, when I talk to my kids about this, I try to show that, yes, can be different emotions inside me. Emotions, yes, they can jump, not correct time, not correct place. And yes, we can after be sorry about this. But most important that these emotions, it's you are owner of them. Not they are owner of you. You are owner of them. If you are owner of them, it means you can be like a king, and this can be your kingdom of emotions. And if you have a kingdom, you can have different places. You can draw these different places, and you can make a map where all emotions live, and start to introduce them, and meet them, introduce them, and understand what they want. It can be very interesting journey together with your child. And while you will do this journey, I can, of course, you will, how should I say, child will continue explode emotions. It will be case, especially if you're talking about 3 years old, 4 years old child. They will show character, they will explore emotions, because before 6 years old child cannot physically control emotions. So what I offer you to use, I offer you to use a very simple tool that based on idea of Vygotsky, that about idea that function appeared on the stage twice. First time in group walking. Emotion very difficult to, how should I say, to touch that. Yes, so it's easiest way to put it out and disconnect emotions as a child. What you can do, you can prepare this table for column. You can see its date of day. So for example, we have 31 day in month, and also you have people you live with. It can be parents, it can be your partner, it can be sisters or brothers, or maybe, I don't know, you know your family who is live with you, and communication with who make lots of explosions, splash of emotions. I propose you to make this table together with your child. Just explain what you will do, and you call this name of child is a master of his emotions. For example, Alex is a master of his emotions. So what we even name of this table, and when you do this, it's show you like you believe that child, your son, your daughter, can be master, can be owner of emotions. Yes, can be not the same, meaning it's not will be immediately. It will not working during the one day on 1 week. It can be for a few years, but this very important base for child you will do with your child. You will teach child to be curious to your emotional sphere, and accept yourself, accept your different emotions, and use critical thinking to understand yourself. This is very, very important, and not one gadget can teach this. Only you can do this. And this is what you have to do. So what I'm supposed to do, you put photos of members of your family. I don't know, it can be this child, it can be papa, mama, sisters, I don't know, cat, dog, maybe, I don't know. You have that your child behave not friendly to pets. And child, you put photo, and what you're doing, you collect stickers when child manage to deal with emotions. So basically, when child stop this splashing emotion and calm, after a while, you come back to this table, not after 10 minutes, it can be end of the day, and say, look, today it was situation, and you talk about the situation. Look, you was anger. You, for example, pull your sister for her. You done something, I don't know. You shout, you was angry. But after you manage to control yourself. Let's talk about this. What helped you? What kind of emotions jump on this in this case? What these emotions wanted? Where it's good place and good correct time and correct place for this emotion. What I tried to say before, yes, so you do small talk with your child and you try to show that not exist bad and good emotions, all emotions is good. For each emotions, you name these emotions, what emotions jump out, what you try to explore what correct place and time for this emotion, and you say, look, you managed to do this. You're owner of your emotions. So even if child, you know, usually child, if everything okay, they're not shouting 1 hour, they're not shouting even 10 minutes. But this, a few minutes when child show emotions, for parents, their hair of parents can become gray. Our attitude, it's like for a long time, but in reality, it's quite short period. And very important, after this situation, talk about this and show that, look, it's valuable, you managed to do. You can do this. And you put something, you put sticker, yeah? You put sticker on this date when it's happened, and you put sticker, you can put sticker, you can draw something, doesn't matter. It's your creativity. You put on the row where it's connected, this case we're connected with. If it's with mama, you put on the row with mama. If it's with dad, usually dad not at home, so not lots of cases with daddy. It depends of situation. If it's sister, you put on sister. If it's twice per day, you can put twice per day. And you turn all situation like it's good you managed to do this. You managed to deal with your emotions, and you help child to ask questions to yourself. Why I do this? What's caused this situation? What kind of emotion? Name this emotion and try to find correct place. It's quite a lot of creativity can be inside this game. But if you will start to do this, it's working. I will be happy if you will decide to do this. Just feel free to write me email or put comments on this video with your feedback or with your questions, maybe how it goes. I will be happy to hear this feedback, and maybe if you have questions, you can feel free to ask me. If I will know answer, I will answer, of course. This game you can use a few years. So you can start when you child, you can, for example, in my situation, I talk about this when my son was not even 2 years old, about 2 years old. It was not good. We finished with this, and after it was another pregnancy, I give birth to my sister, his sister, my daughter. But after they grow up a little bit, 2 child with 2 years difference, it was quite a lot situation that my hair was about to be gray. And I tried to find a solution, what to deal with emotions and the same time to explore emotions, make it interesting as a game. So I use this tool, and of course I'm just show you this is like an idea, that a frame. But inside this frame, you can put a lot of things. For example, you could put a lot of games, physical games, physical activity. You can put fairy tales when you create for these characters. Yes, your anger, for example, you will explore that. You will find out that your anger jump, your child will give you, for example, information, jump on you because he's bored or he wants some adventure, and you can make a fairy tale how you buy tickets for this, your anger, to send them to semester, to some vacation. So it can be whole story, a lot of stories inside this frame. I just offer you to use this opportunity, try to use this opportunity and start dialogue with your child, small child, your 2 years old, 3 years old child, 4 years old child, about emotions, and try to make it as a, as a routine. So give attention to child emotions every day, a little bit, but don't ignore this situation, don't ignore these cases. Try to explore them and support your child and say, look, you manage, you done this. And very important moment, especially if your child are small, and the end of months, you can make a, ritual, you collect stickers, and you can give your child something very small, but it can be something, better not food, better not chocolate, or something, your child better. It exists Lopis, exists something very small. It can be doll, it can be small Lego, it's very simple. But it's like, as I said, with emotions, very difficult to catch them and very difficult to touch them. So I propose use every opportunity to make emotions visible and touchable. So, and this end of the month, it will be like trophy to your child that prove that he is master of his emotions. And you will repeat this every situation. It's for you reason to repeat, you are master, I believe you can do this. So this is what I wanted to talk today about. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer now, or as I said, you can write them on comments and I'll try to come back and also answer you.
Thank you, Marina. We have actually one question from the audience. It goes like this. Do you have any advice to parents with children suffering from ADHD or autism, since emotions works in non-standard ways in these groups?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And even I saw on YouTube channel of Folk Universitet, it's a very good lecture about this child, although maybe they're not recommendation. I know that these kids, it can be quite challenge, and their emotions, it's a double challenge for parents. And I never deal with autism, for example, child, although I had a friend of mine in Ireland. We live in Ireland 7 years. It was a friend of mine. So I believe that child, even with this kind of situation, I believe that child has no problem. Every child has a task of development. Even kids with such a situation, they have task of development. Yes, this task of development can be solved for different way longer, but I can offer you to try this frame for these kids and try this. I'm sure that kids can appreciate this, because this is really, you try to zoom situation with emotions closer, and you will show child that you are not scared of child emotion. This is very important, because usually parents are very scared to deal with this situation, that child explode of emotion, especially if it's connected with some kind of hyperactive kids. But if you will make your attitude, you're not scared, you're ready to explore, and you will ready to support your child with this game, for example, this frame. When you support and you say every millimeters, you appreciate every millimeters what your child managed to control himself. I'm sure the child will appreciate to do this. And if you will try to do this and you will give me feedback, I will be very happy. Try this game with your child.
Okay, so thank you for that answer, Marina, and thank you for this lecture, and also thanks to you listening and viewing us tonight, and that's all for us tonight. So thank you and goodbye. See you.
Thank you very much. See you.